would you rate your sleep? Do you base it on quality, quantity? What is it? What is it that determines your sleep health? And on the flip side, how do you rate your energy? Let's talk about that today. So, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Anjali, the founder of Back in Balance and the creator of the Healthy Human Program. I'm a non cracking, non popping chiropractor and integrative functional nutrition specialist. I am especially passionate about empowering families and workplaces to optimize health by taking a 360 approach to nervous system regulation with movement, nutrition, and mental emotional health. So, moving well, eating well, and living well. Let's talk about sleep, energy, all the things, right? So, a lot of times when we think about our sleep, so many people can have so many challenges when it comes to sleep, energy levels. Sometimes it's that you have trouble falling asleep because you're thinking about all the things. It's hard to shut off. Some people have trouble staying asleep, like either needing to use the restroom frequently or at least once in the night, or just wake up and then have trouble falling back asleep. Some people will wake up and then have trouble falling back asleep and then go back to sleep, or regardless of whether or not you wake up, some people will get the sleep, but then wake up still feeling exhausted. Like they're waking up because they've already hit the snooze X number of times, or they have to get up to get their day started, but they're still so fatigued and it feels like they could just continue sleeping for much longer. Or sometimes they do, like on weekends or whatever, if their schedule allows, they might sleep longer, but they still feel fatigued. Or there are people who sleep and then wake up, feel like they have enough energy, but have to have that cup of coffee or some kind of caffeine hit to get their eyes open, or to stay awake during the day, need some kind of caffeine or some kind of jolt to stay focused, right? So maybe some of these things are true, maybe a lot of these things are true for you. So then you're in the right place because we're going to talk about all of that. So what happens when we have trouble falling asleep, right? It might feel like there's mental emotional stress that is taking place and preventing us from being able to go into that rest and digest parasympathetic response. So when we are under stress can be different types of stress, right? It's not just mental, emotional. There's also a structural, physical component to it. There is a nutritional, chemical component to it. So when you think about trying to wind down at the end of the day, yes, mental stress can certainly play a role in the ability to calm down or wind down, but there's this physical, structural aspect of it. So have you had movement in your day, right? We were designed for movement. We weren't designed to sit in front of computers or to be in static positions all day long, even though that is the reality for many of us in many situations. We were designed for movement. Perhaps you had an hour or half an hour of exercise. Great, fantastic. However, if you were a stagnant posture and or kind of sedentary position for most of your day, it's really, really difficult to undo that with an hour or 30 minutes of anything else, right? So as much as I love seeing the changes that happen for people when they get their adjustments and how that helps regulate their nervous system, you still can't really, even if you got adjusted every day, that wouldn't undo the 8, 10, 14 hours of whatever else you're doing during the day, right? So the bulk of what we do during the day shapes our body's response for adaptation and compensation. And if we're constantly stressing our bodies by being in sedentary postures, maybe not getting hydrated enough, or making the best food choices for our bodies, not following any specific fad diet out there, but listening to our bodies and what we need for nourishing ourselves, and then also addressing the mental emotional stress component of it, right? Are you taking the mental breaks during the day? Because I guess newsflash or surprise, that sleep is not the only way we get rest in our bodies, right? We That's what we think, or that's what I thought for a long time, right? Is also when I sleep, that's when I'm resting my body. But rest occurs in so many different ways throughout the day if you allow your body to experience that. So that's one component, is what does your day look like? But it's also what does your night look like, right? As a chiropractor, we talk about what are the postures to sleep in and what are the postures to avoid sleeping in? Because yes, it matters in terms of how your body will respond, right? We have less awareness of what we're doing when we're sleeping. So we want to set you up for success to make sure that we can help optimize your body's position so that we're not just winging it and hoping that whatever we're doing is appropriate or working for us. And so there can be habits that have been formed, and our body will go towards muscle memory and kind of repeat and rinse that cycle. But if we can address the root cause of the situation and help optimize the foundation for your health and well being, then all of the other things start to function a lot better. If we're not getting rest, then it's really hard to understand how much of the symptom presentation is a side effect essentially of not getting enough rest, or how much of it is actually there, right? Because if we're not getting restoration and repair of our cells when we're sleeping, then it's hard to know what our body actually needs. And one other component to look at is a lot of times when people wake up in the middle of the night, if not necessarily to use the restroom, but if you're waking up in the middle of the night, then it's typically within the hours of 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., right? And so looking at traditional Chinese medicine, they talk about how the opposite time of the day can impact our sleep as well. Just a little bonus here. If we're looking at 1 to 3 in the afternoon, that's when the body is focusing on digestion. So, are you eating your lunch prior to that, or are you trying to fit it in as you're picking up the kids from work or riding to a meeting, or what does that look like for you? Are you giving your body time to digest its food, especially after lunch, or do you feel like you need to take a siesta because your body is just like, I need to slow everything else down just so I can focus on digestion and everything else just needs to go on pause, right? What does that feel like for your body? So there are so many different ways and so many different reasons that your sleep, your energy levels could be impacted. And that's what we really dive into in the masterclass. The link is below to register, but we will help provide maybe the solutions or the answers to the question of what can I do about this, right? We understand that there's something happening that we're not happy about. We want it to be different. We'll talk about why that's happening, and then more importantly, what you can do about it so that we can break the cycle. You can start getting good rest, identifying when you should be getting rest for your body, right? It's not just this cookie cutter approach of everybody should go to bed by X time, get X amount of sleep, and wake up by X time. It's not that at all, because we all function on different clocks, but there is overlap, or there's general categories that can help optimize the timings for you in terms of when you would get best rest, when it allows you to function at your best during the day, so that we can help reset this whole circadian rhythm of rest and energy, and hopefully give you a lot more enjoyment and vitality back in your life so that you can enjoy the life that you want by taking these small but really impactful actions. Join us for the masterclass. I can't wait to see you there. I'll see you next week. Thanks.